retired IOBians and their family members, everyone. We all have contributed and ensured that the institution continues to grow and continues to exist in a better form, day after day, month after month. And on this day, we take a little time out of our daily schedule to think about the great visionary Shri M. Chidambaram, who in those days in 1937, he got this idea and he had got that conviction and that vision, and I will call audacity also, in those times when the entire world was facing a peril, lots of disturbances were there, Second World War was just around the corner, country was not independent, lot many struggles were there, there was no technology. Still in those days, a 29-year-old boy, I will not say old, 29-year young boy, thinks about this creating a bank, that too 3 branches in a single day. And in those days, he created this institution, which has withstood the test of the time and continues to grow. That was his conviction. At the age of 29, when at this age, in fact, in this period, the 29-year-old, we call it a boy or girl only, young boy. And in those days, you could think of this, that the vision he had, and we all of us, I think we need to learn a lot about him. What were the thought process, despite everything going against, despite having all the challenges, he created this, and for 17 years, for 17 long years, he continued to take the bank forward. And at a very young age, we all know that he left us, and that was one of the most unfortunate things, I will say. And he, I am told, and I read in the book also, that he was in Indonesia, Jakarta, and he went there for opening a new branch to do the due diligence, what type of business is available. And while coming back after doing all the due diligence and ascertaining whether it will be viable or not by opening a branch in Jakarta, Indonesia, while coming back at Singapore, I think accident happened and we lost him. And had he continued for another 15, 20, 25 years, this bank IOB would have been a different league, altogether in a different league. Country got independence in 1947. The country was still stabilizing post-independence. And in 1954, immediately after 6 or 7 years of independence, God snatched him. And that was one of the major setbacks, I will say, for this bank. Otherwise, this bank would have been, I firmly believe, it would have been in the league of the big banks or the names which we talk about them day in and day out. We would have been in that league. That was one major, I will say, mishap or misfortune happened with this bank. And in the history of 90 years of existence, there will be good times and bad times. And I rate 2 incidents, 2 things which, whatever I have been able to understand about IOB history.
It's always a pleasure to be back here at the bank on this special day. It feels like coming back home, and that has been made possible only because of all of you dear IOBians. Thank you, one and all. Even without looking at the performance figures of the bank, I somehow felt that a lot was happening behind the scenes this last year particularly. This last year I have been noticing the increased presence of the bank in the city. The blue IOB branch name boards are quite eye-catching, and wherever I turn in the city, there's one staring me in the face. The facade of the bank's headquarters has now been covered with bright electronic readouts and extra bright neon light signages. Although when the building was designed, it was a bit low-key, today it's bright in the evenings. Then when I open the newspapers, there again in the classified pages under banking, The IOB advertisements and notices are a maximum in number, and they too stare you in the face. No wonder that with all this concerted effort, the performance figures are very commendable. Your net profit has grown by 62%, and for net profit for 9 months is at 3,700 crores. The bank's total business increased by 1 lakh crores, reaching 6.44 lakh crores, registering a year-on-year growth of 18.71. Retail term deposits increased by 16.3% to 1.75 lakh crore. Deposits increased by 14.5% year-on-year to 3.49 lakh crore. Gross NPA ratio at 1.54%, reduced by 101 BPS year-on-year. Recovery from written off accounts for Q3 26 stands at 635 crores. And the bank has added 116 new branches and expanded its ATM CR network by 119, reaching 3,622 as on December 31, 2025. The number of business correspondents increased by 2,918 to 11,959 as on 31 December 25. It just goes without saying that there's a lot of work which has gone on, and this does not come overnight. My sincere congratulations to all of you for this wonderful teamwork. The teamwork, of course, doesn't happen by itself. It requires steadfastness of purpose, concentration of effort, true grit, and true leadership. For this, I'd like to congratulate MD CEO Mr. Ajay Kumar Srivastava and his team in leading the bank so brilliantly, and congratulations to all of you in making this positive climate happen. Congratulations, sir. You are well on your way to recovery and prosperity, and now you are in the last lap to reaching a century. It's also very nice, it's in fact very moving to hear MD recount the founder's life, the founder's struggles, and how he started at such a young age. These are all unthinkable to common people. In fact, he was a gifted man, visionary. He came from a well-off family, but instead of using the money to just enjoy himself, he has built so many institutions in such a short span of life. That is something very rare indeed.